So we're back with a brand new issue for Invincible Iron Man issue 3, and judging by the front cover, he's going to run into some trouble and probably his Iron Man armor is going to get obliterated. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that it's been a little bit crazy with my university work recently, hence why there hasn't really been that many videos, hence why Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions hasn't been continued yet, and also with the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, so yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know just in case any of you guys were asking. But without further ado guys, let's jump into this review and get to it. The issue picks up right from where the previous issue left off, with Tony Stark facing off against Whitney Frost, and you can see that Tony Stark's Iron Man armor is trying to initiate emergency protocols, but he also needs to figure out where Whitney's power is coming from. So Tony tries to delay the emergency protocol from being initiated, but that doesn't go too well, and what I absolutely love is that Friday actually initiated it because he was going to die, and of course the whole point of the emergency protocol is to save him. And I love how Friday is almost like his mother, you know, trying to make sure that he's safe, trying to protect him, even if he tries to tell her not to do it. Something else that I'm really liking about this series so far is that 3 issues in and we're still learning about Tony Stark's new suit. And you can see that the emergency protocol was actually to explode Tony Stark out of the suit, and the suit physically comes apart like piece by piece, and then it forms back together and continues to fight Whitney Frost, and I thought that was incredible. We also get a little bit more development into Tony Stark's character in this issue, as we see him going to visit his new scientist friend, who I actually can't remember the name of right now, which is really annoying. But we kind of see a side to Tony Stark which I didn't really know existed, and that is the fact that he is incredibly lonely. And I don't mean lonely like, oh, he doesn't know anybody, he doesn't have anybody, but the amount of people that he can kind of confide in and just tell his problems to isn't that many. Now we're finally getting to that part of the comic where Tony Stark reveals what actually happened when his suit reconstructed and went against Whitney Frost. And we get this awesome like Kamehameha Dragon Ball Z face-off type of thing that's going on, and we can see Tony Stark remote controlling the suit from the other side of a building, very reminiscent of Iron Man 3. I don't know what it is, but I just love how the suit works. It's almost like it's not real. Like, obviously it's not real, but you get what I mean. Just the way it pieces itself back together each time it gets hit, almost like it's shedding its skin and then growing a new form. It's just awesome. This comic is very much based around not only Tony Stark and the development of his character, you know, looking into how he's lonely he is and all that, but also looking into Whitney Frost and just where she's got these new powers from. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Whitney Frost is not supposed to be able to teleport like that. So that's why Tony Stark needs the help of Doctor Strange. Speaking of Doctor Strange, I don't know if you guys have seen the recent set pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange on set. They actually look pretty awesome, and I think Benedict Cumberbatch is going to kill it as Doctor Strange, and I can't wait for that movie to release. But yeah, going back to the comic, it's almost inevitable that these two guys kiss right now, because Tony Stark is such a smooth guy, and he definitely knows what he's doing. But what I also like is that it's almost as if Tony Stark is trying to prove himself, to show himself the type of man that he can be, you know, trying to feel worthy to be with her, and obviously that means a lot to her. Now we're about to get to my favourite part of the comic ever. Like, throughout this entire Invincible Iron Man series, this was my favourite part. I actually laughed out loud when Tony Stark said "Hail Hydra," because obviously he was trying to make sure that she wasn't like a secret Hydra agent or anything like that, and it completely took me by surprise, and the humour was spot on with that, and I'm really glad that it was in the comic. But now you can see that she's got this look on her face, and I actually believe that that look is because now she actually worries for Tony Stark. After hearing what he gets into as Iron Man, and now that she's potentially getting feelings for him, every time that he puts on the Iron Man armor, he's pretty much instantly in danger. So we've flipped the page over and we've gone to the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange. Wow, that was a hell of a tongue twister. Something that I find very interesting that Doctor Strange says is that if he could manage to find Victor Von Doom, it would only be because Victor Von Doom wanted to be found. And I think that just shows what type of character Doctor Doom truly is. Like, he's very powerful, and for even Tony Stark and Doctor Strange to know this is a scary thing. You can probably already tell right now that the humour in this comic is on point at all times. Tony Stark is a hilarious character, and you can even see right here that Doctor Strange is trying as hard as he can not to high-five Tony Stark right now, but he literally just stands there with the exact same face and the exact same pose for about 5 panels, and then Doctor Strange finally gives in to the high-five, and it was awesome. Now, speaking of awesome, we once again discover something brand new about Tony Stark's new Iron Man armor, and it's the fact that it has this brilliant stealth mode that causes the suit to go pitch black. And I just love how cool it looks. And I imagine it's a lot more of like a liquid black, but I suppose me describing it as a pitch black works as well, I guess. So we're actually getting a little bit closer to the end of this comic now, and Whitney Frost has actually left a tape recorder for Tony Stark to listen to once he walks in the room, and obviously that's because she knew that he would be coming for her. And we get this amazing reveal that Tony Stark has actually stumbled into discovering an organization that isn't supposed to even exist, and the way they stop themselves from being able to exist is by killing the people that know they exist. And now that Tony Stark knows they exist, the only way to get rid of him is to kill him. And that's actually rather a scary thing, mainly because these guys are now not going to stop until Tony Stark is dead. And it's very reminiscent of the Court of Owls out of Batman. You know, like where they're not supposed to exist, but they're all like a myth and urban legend and all that, but then they actually do exist. Yeah, kinda like that. Now that is actually the end of the comic, but I want to talk about a few things that really took me by surprise, and some of the things I absolutely loved about it. And of course it's all of the new discoveries that we keep finding out about Tony Stark's new Iron Man armor, but just the way the reveal of that organization was done through the tape just as they dropped down, and just the way that it was written was absolutely fantastic. It was almost like something out of a movie. Now obviously there wasn't too many things going on, there wasn't really that much action, but when you've got characters like that in a comic book that's just so interesting to listen to, so interesting to read, you can't really go wrong. So that's why I'm giving this issue a 9 out of 10, and I'm very proud about that final verdict because it deserves it. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. That is the end of this video, so go to the links in the description, follow me on Twitter and Facebook for all the latest in comic book news and updates. I've actually just previewed the new Spider-Man Miles Morales series that's coming out in February 2016. If you want to go check that out, you can follow me on Instagram to see what I'm doing in my free time when I'm not editing these videos. And last but not least, if you want more, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I will see you all later.